Yeah, let me know when it's
go
live.
time now.
Is it live?
Yes, Jake.
Oh,
I wouldn't
we're
have said
live.
it's go time if it was no. It's go time.
Go
In 10
Why?
time.
Because
seconds.
it's showing on my end.
What does that mean? What does go time mean?
It means it's time to go.
It's go time.
Never mind. I'm feeling very inappropriate, so I'm just gonna start.
Let's have a Donnybrook.
Let's have a Donnybrook. Go time.
All right, welcome back to another episode of Wisco
Take your shirt
Fanatics
off,
Friday
keep your
Night
sunglasses
Packers
on.
Edition. We got Tyler talking. We got Bryant just watching, and we got Simon chugging a beer. So that's what you get this
Not
Friday night. Bryant, how you been, buddy?
Pretty good. You had a good week. Week of work. Bought a camper today, so I'm excited for that for next summer. So
And being rich must be cool, huh?
not rich.
I don't know, man. You have a nice house. You just bought a camper. You kind of rub it in a little bit.
It's the trade-off when you live in North Dakota.
Yeah.
That's fair. Simon, how's Alaska?
It's going. It snowed today.
Oh,
Jeez.
Last week when I was in the field, it snowed. It was a good time.
Yeah,
I was really cold.
I bet it was. It was like 50 degrees here today.
Yeah, I
after
hate you.
being like fucking 70, almost 80 degrees, and it was like, holy shit, that's 50 degrees is actually kind of cold. So yeah, that kind of sucked today. Other than that, it was nice to get through the work week, get to our Packer episode. Tyler, how you doing today, buddy?
super. Hey, Simon, quick question. If everything is white, does it make the moose stand out a little more?
I guess. I don't know. I haven't seen a moose since it snowed. I saw one the other day, though, on the soccer field when I was driving to work.
Was he winning?
What's that?
I said, was he winning?
I don't know. I think it was just she was just standing there staring at me, like 10 feet away.
Oh God!
Almost within riding distance, huh?
I thought about it. Real close.
like, could I just Snow White this thing and just walk up to it? Like, we're friends now.
At this point, I'm not really surprised, but like they had ravens out there that are fucking huge. Like they were like sticking around our camp or whatever because there's just a bunch of food, and they were just ginormous.
Oh God!
Alrighty. So tonight we have our Packers Raiders preview. We're going to do that second. We're going to start with checking in on our stat projections a quarter of the way through the season. So with the NFL going to 17 games, I had to multiply everything by 4 1/4 instead of just by 4, which would make life a lot easier. But with Jair's, I multiplied his by 8.5 because he's only played 2 games. And then I have an asterisk next to a handful of guys who have not played all of the games or have been limited or have just missed some time. So we're going to start it off. We're going to do these in the order that they were released on the page. These were part of the countdown to the season. So the first one that we released was on the page. You can already see it, Lucas Van Ness and Kingsley Enagbare. So looking at what we projected and what they are on pace for right now, Lucas Van Ness is on pace for 26 tackles, 8.5 tackles for loss, 4 sacks, and 21 pressures.
It's pretty accurate.
We're not bad on that one. Kingsley Enagbare is on track for 60 tackles, 4 tackles for loss. He does not have a sack yet, so he's currently at 0 for that, and 13 pressures.
Yeah, he's having a rough go at it, rushing the passer.
Yeah, I think we need to get a little bit more out of Kingsley Enagbare.
I thought he'd take a bigger step forward than what he's shown.
Yeah, I think he's in danger, if not already being passed up by Lucas Van Ness. Talent-wise, for sure. And obviously the draft capital is there.
True.
Okay. Next one we released was the tight ends. Looking at Josiah DeGuara, he's currently on pace for 26 targets, 26 receptions for 166 yards and 0 touchdowns. So we're not too bad on that one. Not too bad. Luke Musgrave is currently on pace for 68 targets, 51 receptions, 531 yards, and does not have a touchdown yet.
This is the week right here.
Yeah.
This is the week.
It's got to happen. Jake was definitely the most bullish on Luke Musgrave. He is still a little bit underneath what Jake had him projected at. He's definitely projected for a better catch percentage than Jake had him at, but Jake is definitely the had him projected for the most.
Mine's got to be close.
Okay, so Jake had him projected for 73 targets. Bryant had him for 55. He's on pace for 68. So Jake is the closest on targets. Receptions, he's on pace for 51. Bryant is the closest on that. Bryant had him at 40.
Yep, Bryant had higher on that one because I had it pretty low actually.
Yeah, and then yards, Bryant is also the closest. He's the highest on that. Okay.
Damn, nice job, Bryant.
So Tucker Kraft is currently on pace for 9 targets, 9 receptions, and 21 yards. He's off to kind of a slow start. So we'll see if Tucker Kraft ends up kind of expanding his role as the season goes on.
I'm gonna look right now and answer my own question, but has that other tight end, Ben Sims, taken more snaps than him?
It's been trending that Kraft has been outsnapping him.
Oh, barely. 23-38.
Yep. 2 weeks ago, Sims outsnapped Kraft, and then last week Kraft outsnapped Sims. So trending in the right direction.
Those projections are pretty good for Musgrave too, being as you can say he missed pretty much the entire Lions game. So
right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I forgot he got concussed.
Yep. He is cleared though, so he's good to go for Monday.
Yep. Yes.
Okay. Next is our Savage and our slot corner. We paired this figuring that Stokes was going to be out until after actually the bye week. It looks like he might have a chance to play this week, but we kind of just combined them as the slot corners. Now, we have criminally underrated Darnell Savage's tackling.
Yeah.
He is currently on pace for a 123 tackle season.
Holy shit.
He does not have a pass defense or an interception yet, but
really,
he's on pace to almost double our tackle projection.
I thought he almost had that pick six the one time. Was there a flag or something on that play?
Hold on, let me look. Keep talking.
And then the slot position we have tag. He's on pace for, this is currently just Keyshawn Nixon, 64 tackles, 4 passes defense, and no interceptions. So this is something that maybe Eric Stokes, when he's back, gives a boost to the position.
Interesting. Yeah, according to PFF, he has no pass breakups.
For some reason, I thought he almost had an interception in one game.
Okay. So next one, we have this as Reed and Malik Heath. He was originally what we thought was going to be the wide receiver 4, passing up Samori Toure. And then it seems that now since then, Dontavian Wicks has passed up Malik Heath for that wide receiver 4 position. So right now I have it as Reed and Wicks I have projected out for this. So this obviously graphic was before the season was started. So currently we also criminally underrated Jaden Reed.
Yep.
Jaden Reed is currently on pace for 106 targets, 51 receptions, 863 yards, and 8.5 touchdowns.
Oh my God.
Granted, I will give us a little bit of flack for not anticipating that Christian Watson was going to miss the first 3 games.
Yeah, that's a big difference.
That's true.
That would have factored in had we known that when we made these projections.
Right.
And then Dontavian Wicks as the wide receiver 4 is on pace for 55 targets, 26 receptions, 361 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Again, factoring in Dobbs missing, not missing week 1, but being limited in week 1. We did not project that Dontavian Wicks was going to be leading the team in snaps in week 1. So that also probably would have factored in.
That's fair.
Okay. The next day, we released Kenny Clark and Devontae Wyatt. So Kenny Clark is on pace for 55 tackles.
Nice.
We did it, boys.
He's also on pace for 4 tackles for loss and 8.5 sacks.
8.5 sacks? Jesus.
Oh, just wait till I get to Devontae Wyatt. Devontae Wyatt is on pace for 51 tackles, 17 tackles for loss, and 10.5 sacks.
Yeah, I think he's second on the team in pressures, right?
He is. No, third? He might be third.
I sent you. Hold on, I'll look at it real quick.
I was gonna say Simon had the screenshot.
I have it up right here. Hold on a second. Yep, he's second.
Second.
Yep.
Yeah. Devontae Wyatt, if he can clean up his tackling, he's one of the better defensive players on the team.
Yeah.
Definitely exceeding even our most optimistic predictions. Okay, next is AJ Dillon. This one is one that kind of gets an asterisk next to it because he's been thrust into a lot of work. But pat on the back for everybody. AJ Dillon is currently on pace for 187 carries.
Yeah.
We're just a bunch of dudes on the internet, but it's what he's on pace for. He's also on pace only for 502 yards. He has not touchdown yet, so nothing there. He's on pace for 21 targets, 13 receptions for 106 yards, and again, no touchdowns. So
he'll get
his carry up, and he hasn't been super active in the passing game yet. Next is Devondre Campbell and Quay Walker.
Yep. Here, Walker's going to be crazy. Walker's going to be stupid, like 150.
Walker's
probably the 180s. Insane.
200? Yeah.
So Devondre Campbell's another guy that has an asterisk next to his name because he's missed some time. He's on pace for 99 tackles, does not have a tackle for loss or pass defense yet. Fucking Quay Walker. Quay Walker is on pace. Simon was correct for 200 tackles. 8.5 tackles for loss and 8.5 passes defensed.
Yeah, we're ish close.
So we're doing pretty solid on some of these.
Holy 200! That would be
He's on pace for 200 fucking tackles.
Holy shit!
Oh, that's amazing.
Well, his last two games have been what, 40?
Next to his name. Yeah, he's on pace. 60 carries, 251 yards, 4 touchdowns on the ground, 26 targets, 13 receptions, 349 yards, and 4 touchdowns. So this is one kind of have to see how it goes as the sample size gets a little bit bigger because he's been injured.
Yeah.
All right, Rashawn Gary, Preston Smith. This one's interesting. Rashawn Gary's on pace right now for only 21 tackles. Now this really goes that he's not playing on rushing downs, which is why the projection, I think, is so low. He's really only playing in obvious passing situations so far.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he's on pace for 4 tackles for loss. Again, I think that lends to not playing in a lot of rushing situations. But he's on pace for 15 sacks and 72 pressures.
Oh, yeah.
Damn, on like 30% snap share.
Yeah. Preston Smith's currently on pace for 72 tackles, does not have a tackle for loss or sack yet, but is on pace for 30 pressures. So good job there, everybody.
Nicely done.
All right. So Watson, I had to change up a little bit because he has not played all of the games so far. So I really can only multiply one game by 17 because he's only played in one game so far, even on limited snap counts. He's still at 68 targets, 34 receptions, 425 yards, and 17 touchdowns.
Hey.
1 touchdown in 1 game. So obviously, again, this is one we'll have to kind of keep an eye on.
I would take an over on everything other than the touchdowns for the rest of the year.
Exactly.
Hope so.
Now, Romeo Doubs. Romeo Doubs is on pace for 140 targets.
Holy shit.
85 receptions, 952 yards, and 13 touchdowns.
Damn.
85 catches and 13 touchdowns is pretty fucking good.
And if he just gets a couple big plays, he'll be challenging for 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
The pace he's on. All right. Jair Alexander and Rasul Douglas. Jair's, again, another one I kind of had to adjust based on the amount of games that he's missed. But he's on pace for 68 tackles, 17 passes defensed, does not have an interception yet. And then Rasul Douglas, we're not doing too bad on this one. He's on pace for 77 tackles, 17 passes defensed, and 4 interceptions.
All right.
All right. Last but not least, Jordan Love. It's really interesting, honestly. Like we're not in too bad a shape, honestly, with this. This is, you ready for this? All right. 561 attempts.
Oh.
So a little low, but not bad. 314 completions,
Pretty close.
3,829 yards, 34 touchdowns,
Oh yeah.
13 interceptions, 68 rushes,
Oh, oh,
306 yards,
oh!
and 8.5 rushing touchdowns.
Jake, did you go close because it was close to our projection or close to 69?
Both.
69.
It's
Fuck.
equally in the middle. So we're in pretty good shape on a lot of these. And with Jordan Love, besides underrating how many touchdowns he was going to score total, I think we've done pretty well so far through the first quarter of the season.
Bro, 34 passing touchdowns and 8 rushing touchdowns is stupid.
So the only thing I will say about Jordan Love is a lot of his production is coming because we haven't been able to run the ball at all, too.
I mean, that's fair, but
They're
You could
designing
also-
some runs for him.
Yeah, I love that.
yeah, you can also use his legs a little bit more if Aaron Jones is killing it up the middle, you know?
Yeah.
Right. So to Simon's credit, he has the most passing attempts for Jordan Love at 550. He's currently on pace to be ahead of that. We're all pretty kind of in the middle on his attempts, yards. Bryant is the only one above what he's currently on pace for, but not by a lot. Jake and Simon are pretty close. I'm a little bit lower on the yards part of it. Touchdowns, 27, 27, 27, 26 were our projections. So he's on pace to beat all of that. Interceptions, we were all really close. Jake was super low on the rushes, but I'm even higher than he's at on pace for. Bryant has him at 85, and Simon has him at 51, so they are both 17 away. Rushing yards, I have him on pace, or he's on pace for 306. I have him at 450, so I'm even a little bit high on that. But for us to come together at 310 is pretty good when he's on pace for 306. And then the rushing touchdowns, we all said 3, but again, he's got a good start on it already this year. So
What's he at, 2 already?
he's got 2 already. Yep.
Two.
One against the Saints, one against the Lions. So
Yep.
Jordan Love off to a pretty good start. And I'll say outside of injuries kind of skewing some of our projections and obviously some players actually being injured, all of our stat projections aren't too bad. So good job, everybody. We can check on these halfway through the season, and we'll see how guys are trending compared to the quarter way through and how they're looking against ours. So good job.
Good job, guys.
All right. Are you guys ready to talk Packers Raiders?
Yes.
So we normally start by transitioning from talking about how Jordan Love played in the previous week and then what we want to see from him going forward. So Simon, since you are back in action this week, I'll let you go first. What are you looking for from Jordan Love against the Raiders?
Yeah. So I unfortunately I watched the Lions game after I got back because I missed it. I kind of checked the score afterwards, and it was definitely worse than the score indicated, at least from my point of view. Like that game was way out of control, and they just got dominated in the first half. I would love to see a faster start. These last couple of weeks have just been brutal to watch in the first half. And without good run blocking and a lack of a running game, Love really has to hit those easy open shots that he's kind of missed at points during the season. So I'm hoping he can get himself into a rhythm early and just carry that on throughout the game.
Bryant, what are you looking for from Jordan Love on Monday night?
Yeah, I'm going to start with, I hope, and I don't want to jump into anyone's things, but hopefully the protection is much better because that game against Detroit, he really didn't have time to do a whole hell of a lot. And maybe you can argue that Detroit took their foot off the pedal a little bit, but then again, we got it it was like a one-score game or almost a one-score game at one point.
10 at one point.
Yeah, at 10. So, and we were threatening there. So, really, I'm just looking for him. I want to see a higher completion percentage rating this game because the Raiders do give us 70% completion rating. So I want to see that. We need to step that a little bit. And I really wish hopefully with Aaron Jones back, he'll settle in more. But we need 100%. We need to start faster. Whatever they need to do, like I said before, if they need to open up and freaking hurry up, just so he's not thinking and stop with the 15 can plays or whatever. They just need to do something. Or can the plays, have them ready, but have them in hurry up offense.
Yeah, that kind of ties into what I was going to say with him. I'm really just like, I want to see him play to his instincts and take what the defense is giving him, including checkdowns when they're there. So, Jake, what are you looking for Jordan Love on Monday?
Yeah, so I'm going to echo the fast start. The Packers actually ranked first in points per game in the second half this season at 19.2 points in the second half. Imagine if we did anything, even half-assed in the first half, we would be winning all of these games. We would have been much more competitive against the Lions, and that Saints game wouldn't even have been a game.
Neither with the Falcons.
Yeah, true.
I mean, if you take just half of that, we're scoring 29 points a game.
Yeah,
that's a solid place to be.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so Simon, back to you. What are you looking for from the Packers offense against the Raiders defense?
Oh God. I'm hoping now that, because it seemed Aaron Jones didn't get the usage that he was used to, and I assume it was him just coming back from injury. What did he get? 5 touches last week?
Yeah, not till we were down by 21-3.
Yeah, I think he got his first carry in the second half or some shit.
Second quarter, yeah.
All right, second quarter, excuse me. Yeah. So I'm hoping, I would love to see him get his usual 15 to 18 touches a game, like a normal game. There hasn't been a normal game this year for Aaron Jones due to injury and, like, I guess just us blowing out the Bears. So I'm hoping he gets back. Getting Jenkins would be back here. He would be huge for the interior line. They've been kind of, God, I try not to shit talk our players, but like anyone but Newman, please, for the love of God. Like, it's just so, like, there are definitely times where like Newman looks the part. Like he's fine and he plays a decent game. And then there are like some snaps where he just gets blown by, like he doesn't even touch the dude. So I'm hoping Jenkins gets back. And I would love, I don't know where I was going with that. Never mind. But we rank last in completion percentage, but the Raiders defense is very susceptible. Outside of like Max Crosby, I can't think of like another halfway decent to good player to elite player on that defense.
Yeah.
Got me.
Yeah, same.
Bryant, what about you? What are you looking for from the Packers offense against the Raiders?
They just have to get the running game going, because once that running game is going, the play action is going to get going, and we've seen how good Jordan Love looks when he play action, hits his drop, rips it into the seam or whoever to one of the wide receivers. Like, that's what we just need to see. We can't do it anymore. And to Simon's point, I don't want to jump in what I have marked on later, but if we can't roll out what we did the last 2 weeks and just expect it to be the same. We've heard that there's going to be changes, so it's time to see them. There's no way that Royce Newman should just run out there if Elton Jenkins can't play and continue to get destroyed all game. Give him a series or two to start the game, fine. But if it's still the same old, put in freaking Sean Ryan, because it cannot be any worse. So I really want to see the running game going so we can get to the play action game. Because right now, no one cares if we're running the ball at all. They're not scared of it.
Have you guys seen? I haven't looked looked it up at all. Have you guys seen anything on Luke Tenuta at all?
I haven't.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
All right, Jake, what are you looking for from the Packers offense against the Raiders?
Basically, just stop Max Crosby and you're going to be fine. I mean, Max Crosby is the guy. We're going to double team him. We're going to have Musgrave, Kraft, DeGuara. Everybody's going to be chipping him. Him against one of our tackles is going to be what really determines his game on that side of the football. Keeping Jordan Love upright. Max Crosby has a relentless, ridiculous, stupid motor. That guy just never quits. He's so instinctual. He's just a monster. I found this earlier. Las Vegas is getting nothing from their pass rush group. Bilal Nichols, Adam Butler, Tyree Wilson, top 10 pick, by the way, John Jenkins, and Jerry Tillery all have 6% pass rush win rate or worse. There's nobody on there except Max Crosby.
I do have it in my notes that Vegas is 26th in the NFL in sacks.
Yeah, and the Packers are, I believe, 30th in rush yards per game at like 78.5. So they need to definitely up that. We're due for an Aaron Jones game where he's counting touchdowns in the end zone. I think that would make everybody feel good on Tuesday morning.
I would feel good about that.
I would also feel good about that. I just want to check because I have a feeling. Okay. No, my feeling was wrong. I had a feeling that Jordan Love was challenging A.J. Dillon for the team lead in rushing yards, but he's not. A.J. Dillon does have the lead by a pretty decent margin, but it's not for a lack of carries that Love isn't far behind.
True.
But for me, looking from the offense, the Packers rank 10th in points per game, thanks to, like Jake said, they're having the number one second half scoring offense. Las Vegas is 24th in points per game allowed. So the opportunity to put some points up is there, actually. And what I want to give credit to the Packers offense for, and this is something that this is part of my my recap topics, but third down offense, third down completion percentage or conversion percentage is the word that I want to use. My goal for the team was to be in the top half of the NFL in third down conversion percentage this year. The Packers are currently 11th. So I'm pretty pleased with that, actually. So I'm pretty pleased with the Packers offense in that aspect. What I don't love is that the Packers are 29th in time of possession.
Ooh.
Yuck.
That Detroit probably skewed a lot.
Well, the Falcons game too. The Falcons game was disgusting.
Well, they scored a defensive touchdown against the Bears too, so
that too.
Vegas is 27th, so somebody's got to hold the ball. Somebody's got to possess the ball in this game.
They're also one of the worst rushing. Not to get in the defensive side, they're also one of the worst rushing teams along with us.
Just flip it, talk about it right now. They are actually number 32 in rushing yards per game.
So I want to throw out two stats that I've seen over the last couple of weeks. As far as the offense keeping Jordan Love and talking about the offensive line and defending Max Crosby, Jordan Love has a pass rating of 30 when he's under pressure.
Oof.
It's bad. And then when we get to defense, I'll talk about the other one. And the other one is, for all the idiots saying Jordan Love is a check down dude, his average depth of target is first in the league. So he's chucking the ball. He's throwing the ball down the field. It doesn't always hit, but that's why we have like a halfway decent third down conversion percentage. He's throwing the ball down the field.
Yep. That's fair. I'll add another Jordan Love stat that'll make you feel good and kind of counteract that shitty one that Simon gave us. So thanks for that, buddy. Love has thrown at least one touchdown pass in all 5 of his career starts. He is the only Packer to throw a touchdown in each of his first 5 starts since 1950.
Wow.
So,
okay. We take those.
For you.
We take those.
Yeah.
All right. Simon, is there anything else you want to add on the Packers defense?
Oh, yeah. So on the opposite side of the ball, Jimmy G throws a passer rating, or he has a passer rating of 11.6 when he's under pressure.
Oh my God.
So this is Rashawn Gary feast season is upon us.
Wow.
And I'm hoping they've had a little bit of a leash on him since for the start of the season, which is understandable given not to beat the dead horse or whatever, but because of his injury or whatever. But it's time to let him loose. 17 pressures on what did I say? 59 pass rushing attempts. Yeah. I think.
I didn't write the attempts down. I can pull it.
I threw it out there just for perspective. It's gross.
59. Yep, 17 pressures and 59 snaps.
Yeah, what is that? 30% pressure rate. That's just disgusting.
Right around 30%.
Raiders are averaging 3 yards per carry, which is the second worst in the league. They're not able to run the ball either. Josh Jacobs has been very ineffective this season. Outside of he's pretty decent at catching the ball. He's had some. I think he had 17 catches this year.
Alert.
And okay, sorry. And then last thing I want to throw out there, Las Vegas has an NFL worst -9 turnover differential.
You bastard.
Jimmy G
Oh
has
God,
5
I'm just ruining
touchdowns.
everyone's night.
No, it's fine. I told Tyler that earlier this week, and I've had it in my notes already.
Jimmy G has 5 touchdowns and 6 interceptions.
Yeah,
So,
he's been freaking awful.
if it gets to Jimmy G, force some turnovers, we collect this dub.
Yep.
Bryant, what are you looking for from the Packers defense?
Yeah, so from their defense, pretty much he pretty much hit everything. You just got to pressure him and turn the ball over because Jimmy G is, I don't know, typically he wasn't, I guess, turning the ball over a lot in the past, but he's having a rough go at it this year. And then, not to jump too far ahead, and but their red zone defense too, just continue to do more of the same and the red zone defense. And I kind of caution the Lions. We can have a 50% stop rating in the red zone, but if we let them in the red zone 8 times, it's not going to do you any good. So we need to stop them and don't let them get into the red zone. So, so I'm just kind of more of the same. Get after Jimmy G. So before this last week, Jimmy G's only been sacked 4 times in the 3 games, but O'Connell was sacked 7 times last game. So unless they just decided not to care about O'Connell, or maybe that offensive line started to break down a little bit, but Simon's exactly right. Just get so much pressure on him that he can't have time to think and doesn't have time to get the ball to Devontae.
Devontae might not play.
Yeah. That's very. Have you seen pictures or videos of Aiden O'Connell? He looks like he could be John Candy's grandson.
I have some other thoughts I'm not going to bring up.
Jake, what are you looking for from the Packers defense?
Well, like we all said already, the Raiders struggle to run the ball. But what we didn't say is the Packers struggle to stop the run. So one of those things has to happen. We have to not struggle to stop the run, continue to make them struggle. The Raiders have lost 3 straight games. They're 1-3 this year. They have scored 17, 10, 18, and 17. They average 15.5 points per game. Stop the run, and Jimmy G is pretty garbage. You're not in San Francisco, and you're not with Kyle Shanahan anymore, buddy.
Tough.
This is the real Jimmy G. And you have Devontae Adams. That's pretty sad, dude. And, Myers is a pretty good player. What happened to Hunter Renfrow? That guy just fell off the face of the earth.
And they drafted a first-round tight end. Oh, no, second round.
Yeah, and he has 2 catches for 2 yards. And
So
he
does
was the
Tucker
one.
Kraft.
And he was mad that it was Musgrave, by the way. But anyways, what was I saying? They're horrible on offense.
Oh, yeah.
Packers have to pressure them. Hopefully we can get some turnovers and win the line of scrimmage.
Yeah. So Jake gave you all of the total points and their average. I have it written in my notes. The Raiders have not scored over 20 this year.
Yep.
So that factors into both of my score predictions when we get that far. I mentioned already Jimmy G, 5 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. And then Packers are 20th in points per game allowed. So I do expect that to be kind of a factor. But, overall, this Vegas team does match up well for what the Packers are succeeding at and struggling at.
Very true.
All right, Simon, what is a matchup that you are watching against the Raiders and the Packers?
How is it not? Well, there's 2 obvious ones.
Yep.
How is it not the offensive line versus Max Crosby? He's the only, like I said earlier, he's the only guy on the defense that is any good. There's some guys, but none of them are game wreckers like that. That dude just, I think he has 4 sacks on the year too.
Yep, and 4 tackles for loss.
He has 4 of their 7.
Yeah, he has 4 sacks and 4 tackles for loss.
Tough.
All right. Bryant, what's the matchup you're watching?
Kind of what you're talking, the running game a little bit, but I'm watching Aaron Jones versus Josh Jacobs because I feel whichever team can control the clock and get the running game going is going to pull this game out. The Packers cannot have a bunch of 3-and-outs and keep putting our defense on the field. Like I said before, we need to start the game fast and use the run game to control the pace of the game. If we let Josh Jacobs go crazy, we're gonna have trouble all game.
True.
Jake, what's the matchup you're watching?
Don't forget that he won the rushing record last year. So this dude ran for over 1,600 yards last year. So he's liable to pop off at any time. So
Yeah, he was also having contract, problems this last offseason. So maybe he's a little bit mad. My matchup is Max Crosby versus Packer tackles. He's the one guy that could be a game wrecker for Las Vegas. I 100% agree with Simon. He's the guy, right? And when I was thinking about it, Simon said there was two obvious answers. It's either him or Davante Adams, right?
Yeah.
And I checked up the injury report, and Davante didn't practice either of the last 2 days. So pretty easy decision.
Yeah, I was going to mention it. You mentioned it already, but it was going to be, for me, it was going to be Davante versus Jair, just because that would be fun to see.
Yep.
That would just be a football fan could watch that, not have any allegiance, and still have a good time. But he's not going to play, so I do have Rashawn Gary versus the Raiders offensive line, because it ties into everything that has been discussed up to this point as far as the preview goes. With Jimmy G not being good under pressure, the Raiders allowing 7 sacks last week, and the Packers just needing to continue to get pressure. It's what they've arguably been best at on the defense so far. And if we're going to see more Rashawn Gary this week is going to be remain to be seen. So Greg said Zach Tom versus Max Crosby. That echoes what Simon and Jake said. So
it'll be interesting. He's not going to play though. You said he's not going to play. I mean, it's Davante. He might just not practice and play. Have they said he's not playing?
They haven't officially ruled him out.
He's upset too, though, man. So you think he's going to try to go out there and try to bang up his body for a team that's just losing and sucking? And
so I will say to Davante's credit is like every time there's been like a contract dispute or anything along those lines, he's always went out there and done his thing.
Yeah,
I wouldn't expect him to just be like, no, I'm not going to play because of this, and this.
If he was limited just today, even if it was like did not practice limited, then I'd say he's probably playing. But for him to be out,
they haven't practiced tomorrow yet, though. So
yeah, the final, what is it? It comes out tomorrow, whether they're like out or questionable, right?
Yeah, because it's sort of Monday night. They have a practice on Saturday.
Yeah, so we'll probably see tomorrow if he's officially out or a maybe.
Yeah, we'll see. It'll be interesting. But if Davante does play, then I'm going back to Davante and Jair.
True.
Jair has actually he's struggled quite a bit this year. I seen earlier that he has like a perfect passer rating against them. So
yeah, but he just had
he wasn't targeted
against Atlanta. He just had it like going back to the Atlanta game. He just had such a bad game that it it made his whole season look bad because he didn't play the last 2 weeks, right?
Yeah, he didn't get targeted in week 1 at all because he was locking down DJ Moore. DJ Moore's only 2 catches came against Rudy Ford.
Yeah.
Good point.
All right, Simon, who is your X factor?
I have Aaron Jones. I'm really excited, and like I said this all last year, like Aaron Jones is the most exciting player on the Packers to me. He's the most fun guy to watch on the field, and the things that he does, you wouldn't think he would be able to do. So I'm hoping they give him a full slate of touches. He has a comeback game, and we can all laugh as he gets 4 touchdowns.
That would be very entertaining. Bryant, who is your X factor?
Matt LaFleur.
You suck.
I put Matt LaFleur. Did he actually push some of the changes that he's been saying that they're going to do, or is it we'll be looking at in regards to the rushing defense and the discipline of this team, or is he just blowing smoke like we've seen in the past and they roll it the same old, and they're like, well, I don't know what happened, or I don't know why I didn't get Aaron Jones the ball.
God, I am really tired of like the stupid penalties by this team. It just gets old.
The special teams is awful. Like Rich Bisaccia, if this continues, should not be maybe delegate him back down to special teams, but he shouldn't be assistant head coach. Maybe they put too much on his plate and he's let some of it slide, but the special teams has literally been killing us the entire season other than Carlson.
Yeah.
I agree with that, actually. And I think part of the reason, not to go off on a tangent here, but I think part of the reason that he brought in Rich Bisaccia was because he could be like, okay, kind of like plug it and forget it, with guys on the field. I think LaFleur didn't want to think about special teams, so they brought in Bisaccia, who's a guy that can control that whole thing, and it's kind of been a mess, really.
How many damn specialty players do we need to bring in for them to continue to suck? Because we already have like 2 or 3 of them on our team that don't do anything else really, and their main goal, they're literally might as well put special teams next to their name. And we did this because Rich Bisaccia wants that, and they're still crap.
That's fair. That's fair criticism.
I will say Daniel Whelan has been pretty good too.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
he's been solid.
He's got a leg, man.
Yeah, dude.
Got 2 of them,
and he's got all clean holds.
Oh no,
maybe 3. You'd have to ask his girlfriend.
Oh my god.
There it is.
So, Greg asked, I don't know if you guys know this, but Divine Diablo has been a surprising help for an anemic Raiders defense. So far this season, he has 30 tackles, 1 sack, and 1 pass defensed. So he's a guy who's averaging about 7.5 tackles a game. Maybe you got to keep an eye on because they might pop up. I don't know if I'd say he's been a surprising help. It just seems like he's just kind of a guy, but we'll see. We'll see what he can do. Billy asked, any news on the James Robinson tryout with Green Bay? There is no news on that.
So.
He wasn't signed, so he was just worked out. That's basically all we got.
Mm-hmm.
So that to me signals that Aaron Jones will be ready for closer to a full workload. All right, Jake, who is your X factor?
Jordan Love. Last week, well, he obviously had his first 2 home game starts. Last week was the first in prime time, and it was on a short week, which is kind of unfair to him in a little bit. But I think that the lights were a little bright for him last week, and then all of a sudden the Lions pass rush was in his lap literally every play in the first half. So I'm hoping that he got a chance to exhale, relax in these 10 days, go over some film, see some things that he did wrong. The offensive line hopefully will be a little bit healthier, as we've been alluding to. Obviously without the Bakhtiari for the rest of the year, which was just devastating news. But, we wish him a speedy recovery, obviously. And hopefully Jordan Love can show the world that he's not the guy that most of America saw last week on primetime, and he can go into Las Vegas and start dealing.
Yeah, I would love to see
Jordan Las Vegas joke.
Just
you like that one?
Yeah,
I wrote that one down.
I like that.
I wrote that one down because I liked it.
I like that a lot.
I also have Matt LaFleur as my X factor, but I have him as an X factor because I want the Packers to win the time of possession battle. And again, just to go back to what I'm looking for with Jordan Love is to force Jordan Love to rely on his instincts. So Matt LaFleur has talked about Jordan Love needing to rely on his instincts, put him in positions where that's his only choice. Jake and I talked about one of the plays that he had a run pass option, and he executed it well, hit Romeo Doubs on a 3rd and 7 and converted a first down. So things like that, put him in positions like that where he needs to make quick snap decisions to trust his instincts. Because as we've talked about through all of preseason and so far through the beginning of the season, his decision-making is good. He's making good decisions on when to run, when to pass. He's obviously taking deep shots. So just continue to put him in positions to succeed that way. Greg asked, any excitement on the Jacoby Myers versus, I'm assuming, Rasul Douglas? The Raiders games I've watched, it looks like he's earning his contract.
Yeah. He has 25
if
targets.
If Devontae is out, then I would say yes.
I think Jacoby Myers is a pretty good player.
Yeah.
I think I would put him like in the wide receiver tier, in the same tier as I would put Rasul Douglas in the corner tier, where they're both pretty good. They get some respect, but they're kind of average.
Yeah. Still underrated.
Still above average on their best days, in my opinion.
Yeah. Okay. Simon, what is your key to victory for the Packers?
Win.
Cool.
That's a good one.
I'm gonna be honest. I totally skipped over that part.
Score more points than the other team.
Can I say one thing? I this is going back a little bit of ways but the way Jake, since I wasn't here for the Lions thing, I will say one thing I'm impressed about, and maybe some people hate it, but I don't, is how stoic that Jordan Love is. Like he doesn't show any emotion. He just like lets stuff happen, and like he doesn't take it as good, or the bad plays he just lets go, and like I kind of love that about him.
Me too. I agree. That's a good point.
All
I
right,
like that a
key to
lot.
the game. I don't know. I feel like I kind of already spoiled myself a little bit, but yeah, just if we get enough pass rush on Jimmy G, like this game's just over.
Yeah.
All right, Bryant, what about you? What's your key to the game?
Win the time of possession handily, really. Run the damn ball and have the ball more than the other team. Like, sustain drives. No more, like, even if it doesn't result in points, get a first down, like, try to get one first down or drive at minimum. Obviously, you want to score points. So,
Right.
First downs don't win the game, but try to have no 3-and-outs. Like, that'd be a small victory, you know what I mean? That'd be pretty good. I don't know how many teams do that per game, but, like, maybe keep it, 3-and-outs to a minimum. It's probably going to happen at least once, but, like, you don't want it to happen.
Greg said Simon's breakdown was second to none. Next Gen might be hiring him soon with that advanced analytical breakdown.
Yeah, that was something. I'll say
That's what
that.
I'm here for, Greg, is analytical breakdown.
Keys to the game.
Key to the game, win.
The thing that would help the Packers score more points than the Raiders is scoring more points than the Raiders.
Yes.
Yep. That usually
This is
works.
the key to the game.
This is why people listen to us. Honestly, this is it.
Yeah.
Right?
This is the 69 jokes. That's what people are here for.
It's really what keeps us around.
Jake, what's your key to the game?
Keep Jordan Love's jersey clean.
Sir.
Give Love time. Let him go over his options. Find Romeo Doubs about 10, 11 times this game, and the Packers are going to be just fine.
All right, my key to the game, and this is why I kind of silenced Simon earlier on the spoiler alert. My key to this game is Josh Jacobs in the receiving game.
Ooh.
So Bryant brought up that he had 1,600 rushing yards last year. Simon was starting to talk about his receptions, but he had 8 receptions for 81 yards last week.
Holy shit.
So he is very versatile. Something that isn't really on the radar as far as dual threat running backs are concerned. It's usually basically Christian McCaffrey, Alvin Kamara, Saquon Barkley, Aaron Jones. Josh Jacobs isn't usually in that conversation, but he's capable of doing that. So obviously stopping the run is important, but keeping an eye on Josh Jacobs in the passing game is my key to the game. All right,
like it.
Simon. Actually, no. We're going to go to Jake first. Then we'll go back to Simon for score predictions. But Jake, what's the weather looking like on Sunday? No, I almost said Sunday. Monday.
Come on, man. They're in Vegas. They're in a dome. I mean, no weather to report.
Got it. Simon, first of 2 score predictions, one from the head, one from the heart. What is your score prediction from the head?
24-19. Packers win.
Ooh, mine is very close to mine.
Yeah,
Bryant, what about you?
I put 23-20.
Damn, we're all going to be really fucking close on these like we usually are.
Yeah, we are.
Jake, what's your head prediction?
24-17.
Hey, so's mine.
Let's go, baby.
All right, Simon, your score prediction from the heart.
28-17. I think we have a possibility of winning by 2 possessions this game.
Yep. Bryant, what is your score prediction from the heart?
28-17.
Let's go, baby.
Oh, look at you guys. When did you tie your dicks together and get married?
We will. That's
Before
bold of you to
inches
assume
tall,
that we could tie it together.
We have to super glue it. There's not enough.
Oh, fuck. We're getting canceled today.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, shit. Jake, what's your score prediction from the heart?
All right. Well, 28, 14.
Oh, okay.
Oh, all right.
I
I
like
actually have the largest margin of victory from the heart. I have 31-13.
That'd be so much fun.
Dude,
I
I
really
just
do
couldn't.
think
I couldn't put 30.
I see the path to it. It really
what
takes
this
the
is,
Packers
right?
doing everything correctly on offense and defense, and really putting together their most complete game. But so far out of the teams on their schedule, the Raiders are the team that best presents them the opportunity to do that.
Yeah, until after the bye week when they play an even worse team from the same division.
Yep, that's a fact. I agree with you on that. And again until week 18, then they get to do it again.
Yep.
All right. So some Simon Says Brian, do you have 11 of them today, or do you have one on each side of the ball?
I have one bonus one, so I have 3.
Oh, just let him have it.
Can I say something before we start? I'm surprised no one said the matchup of Carlson versus Carlson.
Hey, you son of a bitch! I'm about to.
Damn it! I'm ruining everyone's night.
Yeah,
what am I doing?
We bring you back for 1 week, take you out of the igloo to bring you back onto the show, and then
he's still on fine.
I'm trying to get everyone.
I'll do my bonus one first. My bonus one is Daniel Carlson watches his brother hit a 50-plus yard game-winning field goal from the other side.
Oh yeah, that'd be sick. Could you imagine? That'd be sick.
Does he celebrate or kind of hang his head? I don't know what he does in that situation.
I mean,
yeah, no.
Oh.
I mean, that's his little brother, man. So it's different, you know. He kind of grew up with him, watched him grow up, helped him.
I don't know, because like they could have that brother rivalry where it's like I just want to like put him in a headlock kind of thing.
That's fair.
He just hits him in the face in midfield. That'd be sick.
Throws his helmet at him.
He blocks the kick.
All right, Brian. How about for offense? Do offense first.
Aaron Jones rushes for over 100 yards and 2 touchdowns.
I mean,
please,
God, I would love that.
Oh my
God! It's not like their rush defense is any good.
4.3 yards a carry.
Yeah, I'm in for it.
Except for Matt.
Well, yeah, except for that guy, the one guy.
Jake, go ahead.
Offense.
Yep.
Romeo Doubs has a better statistical game than Devontae Adams.
Well, if Devontae Adams doesn't play, then I'm in.
Then you're
that was kind of the caveat. I wrote these down before I saw the practice.
Okay. Assuming he plays, not a chance.
I think he plays.
Devontae's, dude, he's so good still. It's so stupid to me. He's still so good. No, I'm gonna say no. I love that.
Mine actually came after being annoyed with somebody on Twitter for saying it this morning. Bringing up that Justin Fields now has 2 back-to-back 4-touchdown games. So Jordan saying that Jordan Love doesn't have any, given the fact that Jordan Love has started. This will be his 6th start, and Justin Fields has started about 30 games. So there's that on top of it. But mine for offense is that Jordan Love has his first 4-touchdown game.
I mean, I would love that. I could see that happening.
That predicts that bakes right into my heart prediction of 4 touchdowns and a field goal to get 31 points. So,
okay.
All right, Brian, you got one for defense. Then, what is your defensive? Simon says.
I do. The Raiders have thrown 7 interceptions through 4 games. Green Bay will add 3 more to that number.
Ooh,
3.
Ooh.
You said 7 through 3 games.
Through 4.
They could.
Through 4.
Remember, they should have had 3 versus Atlanta.
I know. I thought about it.
I don't know. If Devontae doesn't play, yes. I mean, I could see that.
I mean, if Devontae playing could be a hyper targeting situation, and I feel like somebody could undercut one.
Yeah, that's true.
Or he could be getting hit as he throws and just
I don't know who else do they have. Jacoby Myers and
Hunter Renfrow.
Renfrow doesn't even have a touchdown this year yet.
No, I mean he has what? I don't even think he has 10 catches.
I think he has 10 catches. He has like 12 catches or 15 or something like that. I know it's low. No, but I think Devontae has
fucking 5, dude.
He has 5 catches?
Yeah.
Holy shit. Man, he fell.
I'm going to say yes.
Hairline. That's crazy as hell, dude.
So stupid.
Yeah, that's rough. He has 5 catches for 52 yards, 0 touchdowns.
Hell yeah, beast.
Dude, Josh McDaniels is a trash can. He sucks ass, dude.
Amir Abdullah has the same number of receptions as Hunter Renfrow.
He's still in the league.
Lord 2023.
Yeah, seriously. Amir Abdullah is still in the league, bro. Jesus.
Wow.
That's surprised he still has a job.
All right, that's okay. That's a choice. Jake, go ahead.
All right, I have Packers hold the Raiders to 70 rush yards.
Yeah, I'm in. I can see it.
They average 65 per game, so
yeah,
I still game a little bit over their average. But the Packers are horrible.
We're horrible against the run.
So mine comes from 2 players. It's Quay Walker and Lucas Van Ness. I'm going to say Quay Walker has another 15-plus tackle game, and Lucas Van Ness has a strip sack.
Ooh.
I would love a Van Ness strip sack, dude. That
Very
would get me
nice.
so hyped.
Yeah, I'd be so hyped for that. I mean, strip sacks are so tough.
I know they're rare, but I'm liking what I'm seeing on tape from Lucas Van Ness. Here, let me see.
I mean, he's gonna turn. Can you bring it up?
No, I have a different Lucas Van Ness play.
Is it the one I think of, Tyler?
Yes, we're gonna put this one on screen.
That's what I was talking about. Can you bring it up?
Watch Van Ness. Watch Van Ness. Just takes out 2 humans.
Can you play that again?
Yep.
Oh,
Watch Van Ness right on the right.
Okay, he's on top of where the 2 is on the 2nd and 5 graphic. Just driving back 2 guys at the same time. Pancakes,
That's
one
crazy.
of them, and Carl Brooks gets to come around.
I wish you would have teabagged him on the way down.
Do you think he's picking up pointers from Rasheed Walker? Or
I was just gonna say that. Like, give him the old Rasheed Walker treatment.
All right, Simon, did you have any? Simon says you wanted to throw out there.
Aaron Jones 3 touchdowns. I'm willing it into existence.
I can see it.
I'm with it.
Do you think they still hold him back a little bit, being as the buys next week? I hope not. Like, that's another thing. Like, if these dudes are ready to go, let them play.
I'll say if they had played on Sunday, they would. But because they've had 10 days now in between games, from going from Thursday to Monday, I do think they'll be a little more willing to cut them loose.
Even with them being limited this week so far?
Yeah, probably. Maybe Elton Jenkins even factors into that. If Elton Jenkins is healthy, maybe they're more willing to let Aaron Jones play a little more just because they know he'll be better protected.
That's fair.
Okay. So I have just 3 questions that I want to ask you guys before we sign off. So first thing, it's sad news, honestly. Like, we've obviously defended the player a lot that David Bakhtiari has done for the year. He has another cartilage issue in his knee that they were hoping wasn't going to be an issue, but turned out to be an issue. So it's tough, and it would obviously require a pretty massive restructure. But would you guys bring David Bakhtiari back in 2024?
No.
Not at that cap number.
I don't know that you bring him back at any cap. Like,
they have to finagle with his contract, and
it would have to be per games played. I don't know how
even then, his, I don't know, whatever. Yeah, the cap hit is just too gross. What is it, 35 or 40 next year?
40.
Yeah, I think dead cap's 23 or 20, somewhere in that area.
Something like that.
Yeah, it's just.
I think you let him go.
You just can't have this happen again. It's too risky for the Packers to take on a contract for him. Let someone else take that risk. I just think it's just time to move on.
Yep.
Unfortunately, as much as I love David Bakhtiari, and I will say it is kind of nice, like him going out is just him flipping off the Bears fans. Like that was his last memory. Oh, and the sexy pose end zone. Yeah.
Draw me like one of your French women.
Yeah.
I think he wants to play with Aaron, to be honest.
But
he doesn't like turf either, so I don't know.
Yeah, and the thing is for me, what it comes down to at that point is the Packers are going to continue going for youth, which they're already doing as far as all the pass catchers are concerned. It's all rookies and second-year players. So I think moving to Rasheed Walker full-time, or even if they decide to try Caleb Jones, I think the youth is the way to go there.
Yeah, the only way I can see him keeping him, and it would be a huge restructure for Lonnie. He probably had to take a pay cut, is if I know they're like, okay, I think it is this cartilage issue. If they actually get in there, can prove that this was it, and it's not going to happen, like he's not just going to get random inflammation, which would be hard to prove, and then he shows
through all. Hear how much fluid he had been draining from his knee?
Yeah, it's a crazy amount.
Like record-breaking amounts of fluid out of his knee.
Yeah. So if he can show that, and don't let him play at all this year, but that if he shows like in the offseason or even towards the end of the season, like, hey, I know I'm not coming back, but look at it's holding up now, I'm ready to roll this next year, then I think that's a conversation you have. But until then, and then even at that point, it's so risky still. I think he probably wants to go play with somewhere where like he's gonna have a chance to win a Super Bowl. Not saying that we won't, but
after hearing him say stuff like he had an honest conversation with Goot, I think that's kind of writing on the wall, to be honest.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll pose this question to anybody who wants to chime in. What would you specifically do to help the Packers defense stop the run? Like, what would you change?
You boys want to
go?
My answer would be more 4-down lineman sets. Not a lot, but just more in general. We have the defensive linemen. I think they're performing well enough that we can do it a little more often.
Bring the safeties up a little more. Make someone show they're going to beat us over the top. I get it. Oh, well, we don't want to give up the big play. Okay, so let's do the worst. Let's let them do 13 plays on us, take 8 minutes off the clock, and then score anyway. Like, that doesn't work. So,
well, I guess to that point, Brian, to kind of play devil's advocate, is a lot of young quarterbacks will get impatient and they'll take chances that necessarily they shouldn't take. Like a Desmond Ridder, like he should have thrown 3 picks against us, right? That game really should have been over in the first half. And Barry was betting that we were gonna, sustain our jobs better than he was going to sustain his. And I think that's the way that you have to continue to play. You can't just allow people to beat you with big plays. That's devastating, dude. You can't have people score 70-yard touchdowns on you.
You also can't have David Montgomery running for 200 yards and 3 touchdowns or whatever it was.
That's one of the best offensive lines in football. They do that to everybody.
He had 32 carries too, which is just nuts.
Yeah, you don't hear
Derrick
that.
Henry's the only one that does that.
If we were stopping him at all, though, he doesn't continue to get those carries.
He had less than 4 yards per carry, though.
He did.
Yeah, the Packers had some tackles in the backyard.
He ran for like 160 yards.
No, it was like
126.
Yeah, it was a shade under 4. So it's not like he was killing us or anything. He had a couple of
total rushing numbers.
Yeah.
And you got to remember that a couple of his carries in the red zone, like they're from like the 1-yard line. He was picking up a lot of like, 2nd and 3s and 3rd and 1s and shit. And that's what really made it feel heavier. But the Packers have to win on early downs too. So
either way, to me, we have to stop the run because if you look at our 2 losses in the fourth quarter against Atlanta, we couldn't get the ball back, and when we did, they just possessed the ball so much. I get it that we didn't get a first down, but we couldn't get the ball back. And then look at the time of possession versus Detroit because we couldn't stop the run, so they just continued to run it down our throat, and we didn't see the ball. 37 minutes versus 23 minutes, you're not going to win those games.
I'll say too, the Lions' rushing numbers against the Packers are a little skewed by having a 45-yard reverse play.
Yeah, that's true too.
That's not going to happen every game. So I'll throw that out there. The other thing, and this to me is the Packers' biggest issue on defense. A lot of people just want to say that it's Joe Barry because it's the easy thing to say. But for me, the biggest issue on the Packers' defense is missed tackles.
Yep.
It correlates so much more strongly than anything else does on the defense to the Packers' record.
I do think they can slow down their rotation a little bit more too. Maybe leave Preston Smith on the field more for 1st and 2nd down because I feel like he's our best run defender. Make sure Lucas is out there as well because he's showing that he can do it. And I get it that we want to give everyone opportunities, but at some point you got to be like, your opportunities are going to come in practice or whatever until you start showing me that we can trust you to make this run stop. Like Ngbari has not been good this year. He gets washed out so often. He is not producing pressure. Like
he's an undersized for
that's about
for
it.
what the Packers like in their edge guys. Ngbari's an undersized guy.
Yeah, and
so he's going to get washed out a lot of plays like that.
That 45-yard reverse play, it was Enagbare that bit on the play fake, and he was the one that was supposed to set the edge on that, and he absolutely did not set the edge. He did the complete opposite. But yeah, I agree. Enigbare's got to step it up. I think Justin Hollins is okay. He is what he is, right? Like he's a rotational guy.
Yep.
Take some snaps. But yeah, I would like to see a little bit more Preston Smith, but that's hard, man. He's getting up there in age a little bit. He's getting beat up, and you're trying to save his body, but
tell him he doesn't need to rush the passer anymore on 3rd down. Just take him out the field. We have people for that.
I love LVN. And maybe to fix the run defense, maybe he's the 4th down lineman. You put him at defensive end, and because he played with his hand in the ground in college. That was the reason that we all loved him. Me especially. That's the reason that I loved him so much is the versatility. Kind of like, in baseball when a guy can play third base, first base, second base,
utility
right field.
man.
Yeah, those guys are like my favorite players on the team because you could just fucking put them anywhere and they'll hit the ball. But LVN on defense, rush the passer from anywhere, stop the run from anywhere. So
yeah, I like that. Okay, so last question: who is a player that has been an unexpected surprise so far this year? Simon, you can go first.
I'll start with Jake. I'm
Jake,
stealing everyone else's answers.
My unsuspected surprise, a player that I didn't think was going to be as good is Carl Brooks, 100%.
Oh, that's not the guy I thought you were going to go with. All right.
No, it's definitely Carl Brooks. He's way better than I thought he was going to be.
I like that.
Simon and Brian, you got a guy? There's one other guy that I'm thinking of in the same position group, actually.
Mine isn't that position group, but I'm with not seeing much of him in preseason. I'm pretty impressed with what Dontavian Wicks has done so far.
Yeah.
Tyler, I know who you're going to say, but there's a reason I didn't say him.
All right. So the guy that I was almost positive that Jake was going to say is TJ Slayton.
Yep.
I
wanted to have different answers.
he's got a really good feel for playing nose tackle in a 3-4 defense. He's a block eater. Jake and I pointed out an entire series that he played first, second, and third down that he was either driving his man back 5 yards into the backfield, making a run stop, or taking on 2 blocks and then still making a tackle. He did all 3 of those things in succession, 3 plays in a row.
Tyler, what did I tell you when we were recording those videos? He's the one guy on the D-line that plays a little bit of an attitude. I feel like the Packers are a team full of fucking nice guys, and I'm getting sick and tired of it. Seriously, I'm not even kidding. You can't be fucking nice, dude. You're trying to whoop their ass. This is legal assault. I don't know how many times I have to tell people that. You can legally kick somebody's ass. Kick their ass, dude.
Well, any assault is legal if you don't get caught. So
I mean, that's fair. But you got millions of people watching you assault somebody.
Simon, is there anybody on the team that's unexpectedly surprising you?
Okay, maybe to a certain extent, but Zach Tom's been so good this year. He's our highest graded per PFF, highest graded run blocker, and second highest graded tackle, behind David Bakhtiari. He's just been a steadfast on the offensive line for us this year. He's been really good.
I will say, I do want to give some props to Rasheed Walker, kind of getting thrown into the fire. I know that he probably expected to play some snaps this year, which is why they had the package when Bakhtiari was healthy week 1, and they brought the extra tackle on the field. But for Rasheed Walker to go from a guy that was expecting to maybe play, every couple games, maybe consecutive games at times, to all of a sudden just being the full-time starter when he didn't play basically at all last year. That's a lot to take on. And yes, he's made some mistakes, but he's also had some really, really good moments. So hopefully he can keep stacking on that. So I just wanted to give a shout out to Walker. He's been pretty damn good in my opinion.
Yeah, I think so too.
I have a question for you guys.
Oh, go ahead.
Kind of talking about that a little bit. Would you consider bringing in Lyle Collins now that he's ramping up?
For what?
Is he no tackle?
No.
Yeah,
I'm good on the youth movement, bro. Let's just
You're good with rolling?
If you're gonna do it, just do it.
So here's the thing. Let's say Zach Tom can't play Monday. You can still use Josh Nijman, and they still have Caleb Jones that they could use. So I mean, I'm still okay on tackles.
I was actually gonna ask you guys that. I was gonna say, if Jenkins can't go, do we consider moving Tom back inside and putting Nijman in the game?
Yes.
I would consider that.
I would try Sean Ryan first.
We said that last week too. We said, well, you could try Sean Ryan first, but at this point, put Tom back in where Newman is and put Josh Nijman on at right tackle.
At this point,
I'm just done with no.
At this point, I would put AJ Dillon in there over Newman.
I wonder what Eddie Lace is. He's got to be the size of an offensive lineman by now.
Come on now, that's a little slow, man. Come on now. Poor Eddie.
Let's offer him some Chinese food and see what happens.
His name is Cheeseburger Eddie.
You guys think Mike McCarthy could play left guard?
He can see two defenders at one time.
All right. Last thing I want to say before we sign off for the night is the Packers are a young team. They are young at tons of positions. They are really getting a trial by fire this season. So I'm going to say it probably 10,000 more times throughout the rest of this season. The Packers are young. Stop judging them by last season's standards. All right. I will see you guys soon. Jake and I will be back. Not sure if we're doing anything for Monday's game. For Monday afternoon as far as a show is concerned. But other than that, Jake and I will be back next Wednesday. And then we will see Bryant probably for sure. Simon, I'm not sure if you're going to be back.
Yeah, I'm good next week. I'm good. Hold on. Let me look real quick. I'll talk to you after this.
Yes. All right. We will see you guys then next Friday, and go Packers.